No election in the country will hold without the independent National Electoral Commission playing a huge role in making sure all is in place to conduct a free and fair electoral process. The electoral body has said the Ekiti governorship election, slated for Saturday, will be historic, being the first poll to be conducted under the new Electoral Act. The commission disclosed that in the preparation for the election, it revised its training manual to reflect the provisions of the new Electoral Act, as well as the regulations and guidelines. Joining us on the show this morning, as we discuss INEC's preparedness towards the Ekiti election, is Obo Effanga, Rivers State Resident Electoral Commissioner for INEC, who is currently in Ekiti State. Welcome to the morning show, Effanga. Good to have you on the program.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you. Well, Ekiti election, gubernatorial election on Saturday. 177 votes, 245 polling units. IG says the police is ready. The police will man every polling unit. We've been told INEC will deploy the Bermuda Voters Accreditation System, Beavers. Really, how prepared is INEC in Ekiti? What should we expect?
Okay, INEC is as prepared as it ought to with a few days to the election. All the people who are going to conduct the election are around. All the materials are ready for deployment. We've had some briefings. We've had a stakeholders meeting 2 days ago. Yesterday, we had the meeting with the candidates and the chairman of the political parties, where they signed the peace accord. Trainings have been going on with our personnel, and more trainings would continue, and then the materials would be deployed in the next few days, and we hope to have the election successfully conducted on Saturday.
Right. According to reports, around 750,000 people in Ekiti, well, eligible voters, have collected their PVCs, making 76%. That's really encouraging. But we all know that collection of PVCs is one thing. Actually coming out to vote on Saturday is an entirely different proposition. So what do you have to say to that, to encourage people to actually come out and vote so that we have similar figures in terms of voter turnout? We're hoping for at least 70% voter turnout.
Yes, we are using all the medium for publicity to let people know that they should participate in the election. I'm sure anyone in Ekiti would feel the fever of the elections. There have been campaigns going on across the state. Remember, there are 16 candidates in this election, and so all of them are on the field trying to get the supporters to come out to vote on election day. And INEC is also doing its bit to get people to know about the election and come out to vote. We expect that there will be a large turnout, and so far we've not had any reason to believe that people would stay away from the polls. And I also know that a lot more Nigerians are interested in the elections now than ever before, because they've seen that increasingly the votes count and the votes are counted, and winners emerge on the basis of the counted votes. So every vote counts.
What's been the sensitization drive around the use of beavers?
Oh yes, we've been using the beavers for about a year now or longer. For all the elections we've conducted so far, we've been using the beavers, and this has worked very well. And so we let people know. What it simply means is that, I mean, for the voters, they shouldn't really be worried about that. All they know is that if you are an eligible voter and you come with a voter's card, then you would be accredited to vote. What the Beavers does is that the accreditation is two-pronged. We accredit you using your fingerprint and also the facials. So if we use the fingerprint for any reason, it does not capture you or it does not accredit you, then we can use the facials. So there's no way, if the card belongs to you, that both your fingerprints and your facials will not pass the test. So we expect that the accreditation would be faster because we have two modes of accrediting people. Unlike the previous one, that we had only the fingerprint. So if the fingerprint failed, you had to keep trying over and again. Now we are using both the fingerprints and the facial. So whichever one goes through, then the voter would be allowed to vote. In the event none of them goes through, then it means effectively that that person is not the owner of that identity.
Okay, let me ask you about the peace accord meeting yesterday. You confirmed already that there are 16 candidates on the ballot, but only 11 showed up at that peace accord agreement meeting. Who are those other 5 that did not show up? And how relevant is this peace accord meeting that we had yesterday?
Well, I don't have immediately here with me those who didn't turn up, but I mean, if 11 out of 16 turned up to sign the peace accord, then it means that a large majority of the candidates have signed up to this. There may be some legitimate reasons that the other 5 couldn't turn up, because remember, all of them are actually on the field campaigning. But the truth is that the peace accord has a strong moral persuasive effect on the candidates and their supporters. So if the supporters have seen that the people they are supporting have actually signed up to a peace deal, then we expect them to act based on the contents of that peace deal. And then the candidates also owe the society a responsibility and a duty to make sure that they engage their supporters to act orderly in the conduct of throughout the period of the election and afterwards. So I expect that this will bring down the tension, if there was any at all, and that the candidates are committed to this peace deal. Otherwise, they would not have come in the presence of everyone to sign that and speak to it that they are committed to it.
Well, fingers crossed, and that reassurance will also help people come out to vote. What is INEC doing with regards to logistics for the Ekiti election? Because, of course, you'll know that that's been a problem in the past, where materials arrive late and there are all kinds of impediments along the way. Have you decided to address that issue?
Well, I don't expect us to have problems with that. We've done all the logistics plans. We know how many vehicles that we'll need at what point, and those are being mobilized. All the contracts have been signed, and we know the local government locations where these materials have to be moved to at different times. I don't see that as a problem, and good enough, Ekiti is not a very large state in terms of landmass, so we expect that when the polls are supposed to open at 8:30, that all the polling units would be ready for accreditation and voting to commence at 8:30. For our personnel, they would be there much earlier than then to set up. And I don't envisage any challenges with the logistics at this moment.
Okay, we have heard that, some churches,
No.
Okay. We have heard that some churches have been saying that if you don't have PVC, don't come for mass, don't come to church. We have heard also that some individuals have been saying, friends and acquaintances should stay away if they don't have a PVC. Some businesses have also said, this 2023 is a major battle. You must get your PVC before you can, come to work. Is there a legal backing for this? Because this was one of the stories we have had to deal with this week. And you are an INEC, resident commissioner.
The truth is that, okay, the truth is that there's no legal backing for this. We can persuade people to ensure that they register to vote and they come out to vote. That's the best we can do. And it is also within the realm of one's democratic rights to decide not to vote, which in itself is also a form of voting. But we would encourage people to make sure they come out to vote, because whether they vote or not, they are still voting. For those who don't come out to vote, they would have ended up voting for whoever emerges. For those who come out to vote, they would be able to determine who emerges as their leader. So it is important that people should vote. I mean, people should be interested not only about themselves, but about the society. And people also need to know that eventually who becomes the leader on the basis of an election determines quite a lot of things about them, including their personal lives. It would determine the taxes they pay, what the money they pay as taxes go to do, what area of the society they channel resources to. So in voting, people are actually determining their future and how governance operates. So we should encourage people to vote, but I don't think it is right to deprive people of other legitimate rights they have. I mean, it's the responsibility. If I'm a member of a church, I shouldn't be stopped from attending church simply because I did not have a voter's card or any other religious place. That shouldn't stop me. If I'm a worker, then I should not be stopped from doing my work and earning my pay, because the contract is for me to do the work and earn my pay. There's nowhere in the contract where there is an obligation to be a registered voter. While I encourage people to register and to vote, there shouldn't be a compulsion about that.
All right, I wanted to ask you, where are the materials stored now as we speak, the sensitive materials? Because the INEC chairman did talk about the fact that they will not be stored using the CBN any longer, because some concerns were raised recently as regards that. So where are the sensitive materials stored now? What are the alternative arrangements that have been made as regards storage of the sensitive materials now?
Well, I'll just say that the materials are in proper custody and they would be deployed for the elections. There is nowhere in the laws that states where specifically we should store our materials. This is an administrative decision, and the materials are in proper custody and they would be released and deployed to the locations where they are needed for the elections.
Well, can you confirm to me that they are no longer in the custody of the CBN, as said by the chairman of INEC?
I'm not in a position to say that truly, because I don't have a full information about that, and really it doesn't matter to me. I'm not the resident electoral commissioner who is conducting the election. I'm only one of the 8 resident electoral commissioners sent to support the state resident electoral commissioner here. So he may be in a better position to answer that. But really, all I can say is that the materials are in proper custody, and there's no fear of them being tampered with. They would be deployed at the right time to the locations they are needed and would be used for the appropriate purposes.
All right, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you.